I'm Dr. Clayton Greenway for healthcareforpets.com, and we're answering questions this morning. Here's one. It says, we had our puppy receive his rabies shot at a microchip clinic instead of our vet this past spring. He's 9 months old now. The rabies vaccine given was a 3-year vaccine. The veterinary technician at our regular vet mentioned that even though he got a 3-year dose, because he's a puppy, he'll need another rabies vaccine in a year. Our vet only dispenses the 1-year vaccine. Can you explain if this is true and why it wouldn't be 3 years? So basically, when dogs are vaccinated, there is core vaccination. And what that means is there's certain vaccines they get when they're a puppy. Rabies is usually required by law in a lot of places in North America, and so it's part of the core vaccination for puppies. Usually it's given at 16 weeks. You're going to want to talk to your veterinarian about their protocol, but that's fairly standard across the American Veterinary Medical Association, as well as the Canadian one as well. And basically, you give there's a 1-year rabies and a 3-year rabies. When you give a 3-year rabies to a puppy, you do have to booster it 1 year later, and then you go to every 3 years. There is a 1-year rabies vaccine, and the difference between the 1-year rabies and the 3-year rabies vaccine is virtually nothing. They're pretty much the same, and I know that's complicated, but it has to do, I think, with the legalities of rabies vaccination. And I've spoken with some of the companies that manufacture these vaccines, and there might be a little bit of difference in the way they're manufactured, but they even say virtually they're the same vaccine. It depends on which company you're talking to. So I always recommend a 3-year rabies vaccine over a 1-year. Your veterinarian may want to do a 1-year. Sometimes I wonder if it's because it's easy to record it and you have to give it every year. Really, you would be giving a 1-year vaccine if you're at much greater risk of your dog getting rabies. And that's pretty uncommon. As I like to say, really only use the 1-year if your dog is going out and playing with a pack of rabid wolves every day. Aside from that, I would recommend you use the 3-year because let's face it, you're giving less vaccination, you're putting in less antigen into the dog's body, less adjuvant, and that's just healthier. So I always try to do minimum but appropriate protective vaccination. You're really going to want to watch our vaccination videos about that, where I discuss this a little more thoroughly, and you're going to want to talk to your veterinarian. But in the end, vaccines are really about protecting them against a disease they may be at risk of getting. So you have to look at their lifestyle, you have to look at where you live, but with rabies, usually it's enforced by law. Thanks for sending in this question. Thanks for coming to healthcareforpets.com, where we're dedicated to your pet's health, and keep sending in those questions.